and he still receives, but it doesn't make him less or more. See that? It says, although there is a seeming enjoyship and doership, essentially, they are not there. This is what's called bharita, meaning that through knowledge, please, and underlying knowledge, through proper understanding, the reality of doership and enjoyship centered in I is sublated. Through knowledge, not just how do you call this, a fake, sublation. Oh, I didn't do it. I'm not really. The team did it. It's not that so much, even though it is true, but you do it, with a false sense of humility. Sublation and humility actually are there for the wise person, isn't it? I say sublation is someone that is able to let go, ultimately. When you're sitting to contemplate, when you come to a class, when you listen to this, so there's a whole lot of notions. You say, this is not talking about me because I'm limited. Drop it. Drop what? Drop that idea and just listen to it and try it on. Yeah, but if they only knew, my teacher only knew. Drop it. Just make yourself available for teachers. Just relax. And let the teaching work in your heart. Yes.
That word badhita came from the word badha. Badha means the influence or the effect.
Bad influence.
Not necessarily. You can say.
Because we say Vishabadha.
Yeah, but the influence of the Visha.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
It's like a bothering.
Or Bhuta Badha. Badha means the influence of something on you. And the guy who got the influence is a badhita.
Mm-hmm. So here,
he got the influence of the knowledge. That's why he's a badhita.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Through knowledge,
Yeah.
the reality of the worship or enjoyship centered on I is sublated. He lets it go. Because he understands. It is through knowledge, please. Not because it's expected of you. I see the idea? Even though it is expected of you. But you don't do it for that sake, you do it because you understand something. It's very important. Then, look at this. Then, because if you do it because it's expected of you, you know what it will do? It will create repressions and suppressions. You understand what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what those repressions and suppressions will do? It becomes like a spring, you start compressing and compressing and compressing and compressing. And one day, shoom, the reaction will come. So it needs to be done through understanding. It's called also sublimating.
Mm-hmm.
Can we say that sublimating? Here is sublimating.
Sublimating. Yeah.
Sublimating. Understand that? Sublimating it. But it can only be done through knowledge. If it is not through knowledge, then it becomes a repression or suppression. And then, instead of coming out with a beautiful personality, an ugly personality starts showing its. That's what happens, I want to make this example. It's a terrible example, but of course, it is a fact. Look at the people that abuse children. Look at the people that abuse women, rape. People of power abusing people that have no power. Okay, people of power abusing people that have no power. And I say children and I say women, but also people in positions of power that affect people that have no power. Masochist. And what is the other? Sadist.
Sadist.
Sadist? Sadist.
Sadist.
Sadist. Now, why would a person do that? The person knows what's right. The psychiatrist knows this guy knows. And this person is going to open up with him or her. And he knows also there is such a thing as transference. You know what transference is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You understand transference? A person starts loving the person. Actually, patients fall in love with doctors.
Counter transfer.
Sure. And the person knows very well that transfer is going to happen, and the person knows that it's completely wrong to take advantage of that transfer. However, this is precious, the possibility is there, so he is repressing and repressing. And one day, he just goes and touches what he's not supposed to touch. Looks in a way he's not supposed to look. And you can say he can't help himself. Why did I do it? It's just repressions. Because it's not sublated. Priests do it. Attorneys do it. Parents do it to children. I'm not talking about necessarily even sexual abuse, but other abuse. So stuff like that takes place. It is just a suppression. So the person has become, I remember this guy in San Diego that came one day to a McDonald's store, Bible guy, great fella, loved the community. The guy was a model, an example of goodness. He knew the Bible up and down and all that stuff. One day, Bible in hand, he started shooting everybody with a machine gun.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Out of left field. It's just the repressions and suppressions. You cannot go against your own nature. Eventually, it's like trying to, dam a little creek. You need to face it and attend it and find a way to be able to sublimate it somehow. That's what happens. Not because a person necessarily is bad, please. It's because of not handling properly one's orientations. That's terrible. That's why people are always hungry. That's where jealousy comes from, insecurities, and so on and so on and so on. There's all kinds of situations. Okay, I just want to go back, the word sublated or sublimated is very close to it, I think. I don't know, if you look at the dictionary, you'll find, but he's talking about that, to raise it to a higher level. Like in this case, here's a Swami, which is being worshipped, actually worshipped as the Lord. Just imagine what the song, this hymn that we sing, Kandamandala Karam Yattam, all this stuff is a worship to the Guru. You're like my mother, you're like my father, you're everything to me. So, oh my God, you're God upon earth. As a matter of fact, they call him Bhagavan, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Can you call somebody Bhagavan? If the fellow doesn't know what the heck's going on, the fellow will just become what? Inflated. I deserve it. I won't deserve to be called Bhagavan. And one day you become Bhagavan and you follow what I say, kind of thing. So, wow, you are Bhagavan too. And my job, if I am such a thing as Bhagavan, then I should actually help you see that you are Bhagavan also. In the true sense of the word. That which we say is Bhaga. Bhaga. Mm-hmm. You deserve to be worshipped. Everyone deserves to be worshipped. The entire creation deserves to be worshipped because it's all Bhagavan. And all those creatures are all Bhagavan. That I happen to be in this chair is just incidental. See the idea? But then we enthrone ourselves. That's the whole idea. Or always enthrone us, period. So we have to be careful about that stuff. We have to sublate it. So there's no enjoyership and there's no doership. Even though he does seem to enjoy, he does seem to do. Like Krishna. He was riding a chariot. Isn't it? Mm-hmm. He was doing. He was teaching. He was cajoling. He was pushing. He was giving psychological slaps to this guy to wake up. He was doing all that stuff. So the wise person will do all those things, no problem. But he has no sense of leadership. That karta, there's no karta there. All right. I want to focus on that too, because it is important to understand it properly, okay? And then I bring it to the idea that you guys have done that in so many ways. In your own life, we have all done it to a certain degree. And I put the example of people in power. People in power, your parents. Your elders to your brothers and sisters. You know, your elders, your people of power in relationship to the people that you serve. Is that right? They don't have the knowledge. You start getting yourself fat with that, is the problem. Is that right? So somehow you have to sublet it. How do you say that? I had a problem. Sublate it. Not sublate it, but sublate it. Okay. Go ahead, please continue, finish.
Okay. When Krishna talked to Arjuna and when Shankara wrote his commentaries, there was doership. But neither Krishna nor Shankara looked upon themselves as the doer. Doership for the wise person is just doing. The notion, I am the doer, is not there. This means that the Sthita Prajna continues to be Brahman. Therefore, Krishna concluded.
Okay. Go ahead, Ravi, please read the next one.
I think.
This is what is.
Yeah, it's okay. This is what is meant by being steady in Brahman, O Partha. Having gained this, one is not deluded. Remaining therein, even at the end of one's life, one gains liberation. The steady knowledge, Nana.
Excuse me.
Hey, it's the other way around.
Oh, is it other way around?
Yeah, this 386 is gone.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Oh, thank you. Okay, go ahead.
You want me to read again? I'll read again.
Yeah, please.
This is what is meant by being steady in Brahman, O Partha. Having gained this, one is not deluded. Remaining therein, even at the end of one's life, one gains liberation. The steady knowledge, Jnana-nishtha, that had been the topic of Krishna's teaching from the beginning, is steadfastness in Brahman, Brahmanistha. In between, Karma Yoga was pointed out and Arjuna's question concerning the definition of a Sthita Prajna was answered. This same steady wisdom being again mentioned. Jnana-nishtha means steady knowledge and Brahmanistha is one whose knowledge is that Atma is Brahman. It is this knowledge called Brahmanistha that is being praised here in the last verse of the second chapter.
Okay, let's just make a pause here. Any comments here, any questions?
Is Nishtha means what's the real
Nishtha
name?
means faith, right?
Exercise?
Faith.
Faith.
Faith,
They are
okay.
in-
Okay.
But is it faith?
No, here it is established.
It's established, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, not established. How do you translate nishtha?
Established person in Jnana, yes.
That's what I was thinking.
Remember the word Brahmanishta. Brahmanishta means
Established in
Knowledge
Brahman.
is the
established or knowledgeable of Brahman, isn't it? It's the same thing as Jnana-nishtha, isn't it?
Mine's Brahman.
In other words, who's that person whose knowledge of Brahman being and Atma and Brahman being the same, that's what it is, Brahmanishta. Now, remember that at one time I quoted Swami Dayananda as saying that the Kshatriyas, teachers, Kshatriyas means people that are versed in the Shastra, right? And there's also Brahmanishtas, both teachers. Remember that? That I mentioned once. Now, and he translate Kshatriya is someone that is versed, very well versed he knows the sampradaya, he knows the whole Shastra unfoldment, and he might not necessarily be established in Brahman. but not no Brahman.